Hi, this is Ms. Park. This video is called Types of Data, and it's our first video for the statistics unit in our course. So I'm presenting here one of the booklet pages that says identifying and graphing one variable data. And we're going to start with two definitions. So in our course, we're going to look at two types of data. The first one is called categorical, and the second one is called numerical. And numerical, so I'm just going to show you these two, are called numerical. And there's two types of numerical: continuous and discrete. So some new words. And now I'm going to show you some examples of what they are. Okay. So categorical data is data that you collect about things that are not numbers. So, for example, types of fruit, languages people speak, pets. Okay, so things that are not measured or counted, they're just types of that. They're just types of things. So I'm going to show you an example of categorical data. So here's an example of categorical data. You might recognize a graph like this, similar to some of the candy graphs that we've seen in our class, where A, B, C, D, and E might be a color of a candy. And so categorical data looks like you can draw a bar graph, and the bars are separated from each other, and each one is labeled with a word, some kind of descriptor. And then on the vertical axis, you've got the measurement, so how many times it occurred. So if you think about the ones where somebody's drawing a candy out of a bag or out of a cup, each color, how many times did it occur? So we can use a bar graph to show categorical data. The other thing we can do is we can make a pie graph, and Google Sheets will make pie graphs for you as well as bar graphs. So you can see that the pie is divided into sectors, and the size of the sector depends on sort of the height of the bar. It depends on the frequency. So the more times something occurs, the bigger the sector on the pie graph. Okay, so that's categorical data. Numerical data would look just like this bar graph, but down below, instead of words like colors, you would have numbers. So here's an example of numerical data. Still bar graph, okay, but this one is about number of children in the family. So the label on the bar graph is a number, right? How many children are there in the family? So it's just a number. And then you have the frequency again on the vertical axis. So how many families have one child? How many families have two children? How many have three? And so on. Okay, so that's numerical data. Now, this one is called discrete data. So discrete data means those bars are separated because it's not possible to have fractions of children, right? We can't have 1.5 children. It doesn't make sense. So you've got a bar for one, a bar for two, a bar for three, and nothing in between. So the word for that is discrete. So I'll show you back in your worksheet. Categorical was the one where we're describing the bars with words. Discrete is numerical, but you can count them. So a number, but only whole numbers are allowed, no decimals or fractions. So for example, number of pizza toppings or goals scored, right? We can't have half a goal. The third kind is called continuous, and continuous looks like this. So this looks like a bar graph, but actually it's called a histogram, not a bar graph. And the reason it's different is because here we have ages, and ages are in groups. So we don't have one bar for 20 years old and another one for 21 years old and another bar for 22, because you can be 21.5 years old, right? Age is measured just like height, just like weight, just like distance. Those things are measured, so you can have fractions. So these bars are actually attached. There's no gap between them, right? So anything between 20 and 30 would be in this bar. Anything from 30 to 40 would be in this bar. And 30, actual 30, you would think either in the bar to the left of 30 or bar to the right. We actually put it in the bar to the right. So this first bar starts at 20 and goes right up to 30, but not including 30. So it would include 29.5, 29.9, but not 30. The next bar starts at 30 and goes to 39.9, but not 40. Okay, so each bar begins with this number on the left. Okay, and so it's a range of values that goes here, and that's why the bars look like they're attached. So that is called a histogram. And this data that can be measured, not counted, but measured, is called continuous data. So back to our note, we've looked at categorical, which is with just words. So male, female, yes and no, strongly agree, disagree, agree, those kinds of things. Or in our case, colors, right, of candy. Continuous data is the data that can be measured. So we use a histogram and the bars look like they're connected. And discrete data is also numerical, but you can't have partial values. You can only have whole numbers. So the bars look like they're separated. Okay, so now that you've seen all of those, you can have a look at this booklet page and kind of test yourself. The answers are given. So hide the answers and test yourself. What kind of data is each of these things? And here on the same page, it tells you what a histogram is like and what a bar graph is like, all right, which is what I just explained. So this first example here, or they're calling it example 2, but it's actually the first one, is asking you to draw a bar graph for these hockey players and the goals that they scored. And I'm not really going to spend a lot of time on this because we've already done bar graphs and we even made them in Google Sheets when we did the probability. So very, very roughly here, I have the player along here, and I have the number of goals. Okay, and I can see that the numbers go right up to 900. So I'm going to start at 0, and I'll just make tick marks. 100, 200, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll go up to 1,000. Label them 100, 200, and so on, all the way up to 1,000. So I'm just going to very loosely start this one. And then each bar, there's going to be a bar for each player. So for example, Wayne Gretzky will be just under 900. So I'll draw his bar, and obviously I'm not using a ruler, and you should. So this is Wayne Gretzky's bar. And then separated from his, I'll do Gordie Howe. So that's 800. So pretend I'm drawing with straight lines here. Okay, and so on. You just make the graph. So that is categorical because these things are not numbers down here. They're people's names. Okay, and so for categorical, we'll make a bar graph. And I'm just going to go down, and here it talks about circle graphs. So we're actually not going to concentrate on circle graphs in our course. We're just going to talk about bar graphs and histograms. So I'm going to leave it blank. If you're curious, of course, you can have a look at how they create the circle. And Google Sheets will create these things for us too. And pictographs as well uses pictures to show which one is bigger and which quantity is bigger. So we're not going to concentrate on that either. Okay, and so now I want to do with you an example with histogram because that's new for us. So on the next page here, it says an English class had the following grades on a test out of 100. And we're going to draw, so down here it says complete the histogram below. So we're going to complete this histogram. So we're going to look at this data from this class. And remember what the histogram looks like. It's got, the histogram has bars that are attached. So we want ranges of numbers down here. And so since we're talking about marks, and I can see the marks here go, I mean, it's going to be out of 100. So all marks are going to be between 0 and 100. We might as well make our ranges by 10. So a mark of, you can't get, can you get 9.5? Yeah, let's say we can get 9.5. So a mark from 0 to 10, but not including 10. Okay, so I'm going to write it like this. A square bracket means including, and a round bracket means not including. Okay, and then the next one will start with 10 until 20, but not including 20. The next one will start at 20, but not include 30. The next one will be 30, not 40. And then from 40 to 50, but not including 50. I'm just going to continue here. Notice the different brackets. And my last one has to include 100 because there's no other bar after that. So square bracket on both sides. Okay, so the last one will include 90 to 100. Okay, and so frequency table, frequency distribution table, basically says count up how many there are in each of these categories. In each of these ranges. So from 0 to 10, let's look at all the marks. From 0 to 10, there's nothing. Nothing, okay? So actually, what they want us to do is they want us to use tally marks. I'm going to show you. So nothing means there's nothing to count. From 10 to 20, also, I believe there's nothing. 20 to 30 looks like nothing. 30 to 40 looks like nothing. Okay, now from 40 to 50, I see some. So I'm going to cross them off. So you should do this, cross them off so you don't get confused. I see 1, 2, looks like 2. So well, I'll just go 2. That's fine. I'll just put it 2. Okay, and then from 50 to 60, I see 1, 2, 3. They look like they're in order, so that's helpful. And then 60 to 70, there's none. 70 to 80, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 80 to 90, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and not including 90. And then 90 to 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Cumulative frequency means add up all the total to make sure that we've counted all the students. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and another 9 is 18. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So there are 25 students. It should be that when I add up all of these frequencies for all the ranges, it should add up to 25. So let's see. Cumulative frequency means add to the total as you go. So start with 0, add another 0, I'm still 0. Add another 0, still 0. Add another 0, 0. Now add a 2, is now the running total is 2. Add a 3, now I'm at 5. Add a 0, I'm still at 5. Add a 7, I'm at 12. Add a 6, I'm 18. Add that last 7, 25. So I know I've covered everyone. Okay, I've taken care of all the marks. All right, now time for our histogram. For each of these categories, I can see how high the bars are going to be. So down below here, let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, so down below here, I'm going to make my tick marks. So there's 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And once again, please excuse my not using a ruler. I'm using a stylus, but you definitely need to use a ruler. Now, remember the hockey players where the label was in the middle of the bar? Okay. With histogram, the labels are going to be, because it's ranges, they're going to be on the outsides of the bar. So I'm going to have a label, I'm going to have a bar from 0 to 10, but oh, look, the frequency is 0. So I don't have a bar there. I don't have a bar from 10 to 20. I don't have a bar from 20 to 30 or from 30 to 40, but I do have a bar from 40 to 50. And the bar from 40 to 50 will go up to 2. So here's my bar that starts at 40 and goes to 50. Oh, made it too high. So at 2. Okay, and then from 50 to 60, I have 3. Notice how the bars are connected. From 60 to 70, I have nothing. From 70 to 80, I have 7. So I'm going to go right up to 7. Okay, and then from 80 to 90, I have 6. And then from 90 to 100, I have 7 again. Okay, and there you have it. So this is a histogram. And I'm assuming that you can get half marks, right? Because like in our course, I give half marks. So I'm assuming you can get half marks. So this is continuous data. Continuous data because you can have marks that are not whole numbers. And then the question said, what interval had the greatest frequency? So you could see which one had the greatest frequency. Well, between 70 and 80 was the most popular, but also 90 to 100 was the most popular. So I would say from 70 to 80 and 90 to 100. Okay, so that's your histogram. And then the practice will be different marks, and it's asking you to do it again for the different marks and then compare how are the two histograms the same and how are they different. Okay, so there you have the introduction to types of data, categorical and numerical, discrete and continuous, bar graphs, and histograms. Okay, good luck. Do your practice. Thanks for watching. Bye.